everyone. On the occasion of International Youth Day 2023, Swan Livelihood, in collaboration with Skill Reporter, welcomes you in the panel discussion on the theme Empowering Rural Future G20 Skill Up Conference on August 12, 2023, in celebration of International Youth Day. My name is Neha.
And my name is Tanu, and we are your hosts of the day. Let me start this event with a brief on hosting organizations. At Swan Livelihood, our core mission is to empower the workforce and communities through tailor made training and learning programs. We advocate technical and vocational education and decent work opportunities to promote inclusive and sustainable economic growth. Our focus is on skill development, education, social impact, and sustainable change, creating a vibrant ecosystem of livelihood opportunities for a brighter future.
Skill Reporter is an Indian media today focused on skill development, vocational training, education, and related news. It aims to promote and cover various initiatives, programs, and developments in the skill development sector in India and beyond. The platform serves as an information hub referred by experts as professionals with institutions such as Minister, NSDC, NCBET, etc. from India and over 150 nations for information such as news, jobs, events, RFP, tenders, EOI, MOU, notifications, circulars, admissions, updates, visions, videos, images related to technical, vocational, educational, and training, focusing skill development.
Today's session, our esteemed guests from various fields include the first esteemed speaker, Ms. Annavajla Sharda, our esteemed FNHW NRLM resource person at NIRDPR, National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj, with a bachelor's in social work and a master's in social work. Specializing in medical and psychiatric social work, she brings a wealth of knowledge to the table. With an impressive 25 years of hands-on experience, Ms. Sharda has delved into diverse fields, including community development, healthcare, childcare, and corporate sectors. Her expertise shines through in conducting awareness sessions, community mobilization, health camps, training programs, and coordination, along with crafting impactful IEC materials. Notably, she has been chosen as National Resource Person for the National Rural Livelihood Mission, focusing on food nutrition, health, and WASH. Her role includes formulating state operational strategies, field visits for monitoring and evaluation, and training cadre and state teams. She is also a certified push trainer, highlighting her commitment to creating safe spaces.
Our second esteemed speaker, meet Tushar Kansal, the visionary founder and CEO of Consultancy Ventures. A true professional, he stands as both as a tough leader and tough influencer. Throughout its journey, Tushar has been a driving force for startups and growth stage companies across various sectors, honored with four prestigious awards, including the covered Best Startup Supporter title at the India First Tech Startup Conclave 2022 by the esteemed All India Council for Robotics and Automation AICRA, presented by Dr. Kiran Bedi. Tushar plays a pivotal role as a venture advisor with Loyal VC, a renowned Canadian VC fund led by Home Instead. The fund boasts a robust portfolio of 300 plus investments spanning over 50 countries. As a mentor and judge, Tushar contributes to startup pitch events within the entrepreneurship cell of top academic institutions. The Shah's insights carry weight in leading business news channels and publications such as CNN News 18, VCTV, Business World, Business and Economic Queries, and Digital Market Asia. With an impressive track record of 300 plus talks, his expertise is available for exploration on platforms like YouTube and Google. He is globally connected with 450 investors. Tushar's ability to pick up sector agnostic global deals is not noteworthy. His investment range spans from USD 200,000 to 25 million. Tushar's educational journey includes executive education in leadership from Harvard Business School, an MBA in finance from University of Delhi, and a BTech from the Technology Institute of Textile and Science affiliated with the esteemed Textile Institute of Manchester, UK, a part of India's renowned the Builder Group.
Our third esteemed speaker is Deepak Nanda, an entrepreneur professional who is a master in sales content, events, digital marketing, PR, and research. With a remarkable background spanning both social sector and corporate world, he is a true expert in harnessing the power of storytelling for impact. Formerly at Josh Talks, Deepak's prowess in managing branding efforts is unparalleled. He crafted strong brand identities using events, PR, speaking engagements, book publishing, interview series, and alliances as catalysts. His work led to international coverage and engagement at prestigious platforms like Resource Alliance, Women Forum, and UN events across India, Singapore, and Paris. He played a pivotal role in sharing 10,000 plus inspirational stories in several languages, collaborating with renowned brands like Google, Facebook, Oxfam, and many more. At CSR Box, Deepak curated content and fostered strategic partnerships for impactful development projects. He championed advocacy initiatives such as Impact for Nutrition, Act Smart, British Council, Plan India, and Skills Build. His role included covering 150 plus CXOs in impactful video series, podcasts, and blog interviews. He managed numerous training sessions, events, and seminars during his tenure. Currently driving communication, partnerships, and technology at Rise Infinity Foundation, Deepak is behind the success of Rise World Summit. This year, the summit drew participation from 10,000 individuals representing 70 countries. Thank you so much for being with us today.
We will now invite Ms. Sharda to be our first guest speaker of the day and share her thoughts with our audience on the theme. It would be interesting to hear, particularly regarding her remarkable journey in the rural space while fulfilling the role of the National Resource Person at the National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj. Her dedication to empowering the grassroots workforce is a story we are keen to hear. Over to you,
Uh,
Sharda ma'am.
Good morning, all. Thank you for giving me the privilege to be the first speaker. Though I think comparing to the experience and the expertise of Tusharji and Deepakji, I don't think I have so much of contribution what I have ever made. Yeah, but my experience with the rural sector, it was a remarkable thing. Lot to learn, and I'm still a student, I would say. Well, comparing to the urban life, rural sector is basically been a neglected sector. I would suggest. I would say that, and basically I work with the self-help groups, village organizations, and cluster level federations, the CLF, Vivo, and the SAG. That is the community-based organizations that are there. When I go and interact with them, they are not aware of the schemes that are provided from the central government and the state government. There are lots of gaps that are happening. We promise so many things. We release so many services for the rural poor to uplift them from the poverty. But these services are not reaching to them. When I conduct my training programs, for the community resource persons or the district resource persons, I come to know that there are a lot of gaps that are happening. The decisions that are taken up are only at the state level, that is not passed down to the grassroots level. That is why most of them are not aware that these services are meant for them. They still spend. If you look at the loans that the self-help women take from the groups, is exclusively only for the treatment, when we have so many government hospitals across, and when there are so many government schemes meant for health care, health insurance, most of them are still going to the private hospital, spending lakhs of money, and landing up in again in poverty. So this is my observation. Since 7 years I'm in this field as a national resource person. Prior to that, I was handling the corporate social responsibility of various corporates. So there also I have seen the communication. They take up the projects for the sake of doing it, but when it comes to the execution, there's a lot of gaps and misses all. They miss out many important things that need communication. I sincerely feel awareness is the first thing. हिंदी में बोलते हैं जागरूकता. उनको जानकारी प्राप्त कराना एक बात है, उनको जागरूक कराना एक बात है. When we have done it for the sake of the schemes are meant for them, they are not aware that that is their basic fundamental right. Secondly, they hesitate to come forward to take it up a government scheme. They don't like government hospitals, they don't like government schools, but they prefer government jobs. This thinking, my primary focus is right now to bring about behavior change communication. How will they change their behavior if they think with this angle? Their thinking process has to be changed. They have to understand that these schemes are meant for us. When we make the form the government, so the schemes are meant for us and we have to utilize them. They don't take any effort to understand because they don't ask. If any hospital, many places medicines are not available, so it is the duty of the citizen to check with the government why those services are not provided. They don't ask. Because they don't ask, government also don't respond. They say, okay, jaisa chal raha hai, chalne do. This is what is actually happening, and this is where the services are not reaching to the poor, or services are certain times misused. This is from my side. Anybody else would like to add?
Actually, I'm also working in the same sector. Like I'm also working with the lot of women, like in which like we like try to try to actually serve them a lot, like try to like teach them like what are the schemes for them. And what I observe is there are a lot of women who don't even know how to apply it, like how, like what are the schemes and how to apply. They're totally dependent on us. Like we have like organization, so we have a lot of volunteers with us also. So they are totally dependent upon the volunteers. Like they would like just go and they would just do everything for them. So like we have to actually teach them like how to do it. And like we have to actually make them in the like make them this much confident that they can do it by themselves. So I just
Yes.
wanted to add this.
Yeah, I want to tell you something. My primary focus right now is food, nutrition, health, and wash. For the development of the country, they have identified around 18 topics for sustainable development goals. Among this, at least 10 are directly depending on food, nutrition, health, and wash. If the citizen is not having a proper nutritious food And if his health is not proper, and if his surroundings are not properly maintained, definitely he will not be in a position to earn livelihood for the entire month. So that is the reason I'm primarily focusing on that. And when I talk to them about the, for example, just 1,000 day window is what is actually for primary we are focusing, where the mother and child are taken care of till fifth month or sixth month. The mother is not getting registered with the Anganwadi center. By then, maximum growth is already taken place. The resultant is the child is born with a low birth weight, or the mother turns to be anemic. Proper nutrition is not taken care. They say in village we are not supposed to announce that the wife, the woman is pregnant. How long will they do this? The mortality, maternal mortality rate is 55 per 1 lakh births. It may be very, very minimal, but the thing is, why this should happen? Why can't we do it at the initial stages itself? When these services are meant, going to Anganwadi center, they send their husband or a mother-in-law to get whatever ration or the take-home ration is provided. Why can't they do it? It is for them. And when I do also visit them in the field, apart from providing training, apart from doing state operational strategy, I also visit them in the field. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock also they don't have their breakfast. This is the pathetic intake of food. How will they stay healthy? And how will you think they are going to give a healthy child? How will they give birth to a healthy child? These things they are not understanding that health, proper nutrition, proper sanitation, they all play a key role, right? The services are there, but why there is again the gap? The services provided from the Anganwadi center, they should also make it, effective. They only respond when we go to them. Why can't they come to us? Why can't we change our style of working? Where it should be, it is a mutual thing, right? जितना आपको जरूरत है मुझे भी उतना ही जरूरत है. So why can't you make it so come? Why should this end user should come to them? The service provider also can go to the end user. Why can't they change their methodology of working? Because of which many people are missing. They only remember Janani Suraksha Yojana. That's all. There is also Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana also. Most of them don't know about it. They keep staring at us when we talk about them. These things, they may think it is very easy or it is bare minimum. Oh, everything is important to us. And as per the National Family Health Survey data, 5, only 74% of the children are getting immunization. Up till 5 years, there are 7 types of vaccination. After third vaccine, they are giving up. There's no follow-up. Like that, so many things are there. These things have to be dotted. These dots have to be connected somewhere. And it is not the responsibility of one individual. Everyone should be part of it. We cannot say that this is not my cup of tea. Effort has to be made by all. It's a corporate thing. The community-based organizations, Panchayat Raj, that's why Panchayat Raj also we are involving. PRI, CBA, convergence, we are talking about it because they also play equal role in conducting it. NGOs, everybody should join hands. It is not with single person that we can bring about that change.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a great, like you just shared your thoughts with us. So
We
Over to
would
you, Nanda.
now like to invite our second guest speaker of the day, Mr. Tushar Kansal. Sir, you have been actively involved in mentoring startups and growth stage companies across various sectors and run your own organization as well. We wish to know about your journey of building your company and your experiences in guiding and supporting the next generation of business innovators. Over
Well,
to you, sir.
I thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to give my side of the story. So, so we know a lot of startups come to us, and they are in diverse sectors like fintech. A lot to do with technology, and there are also startups which have ESG as their theme. Environmental, social, and corporate governance. So when we deal with ESG startups, so we deal with a different set of metrics as compared to financial metrics only. So suppose there is a startup which is providing employment to women in the rural areas, and they are supporting communities in skills which they are easily able to disperse. Then we will aim to have a startup which creates successful parameters across those communities. It is not easy, so easy, because even if the ESG criterias are there, then also the money needs a return. So the business, there is a business side to the whole plan, and which means that it has to be sustainable. And because it has to be sustainable, so the money which goes in the project, it has to generate some kind of a return, so that even if the funding dries up after some time, the business can continue, and the project can also continue with the involvement of more and more people. So what we have seen is that there is a large pool of money which is available for investing in environmental, social, and corporate governance companies. But the fact of the matter is that a large part of it is going for the climate companies, which is the EV companies, and the solar companies, and the wind power companies, and not so much is left for social companies. But India has seen more than 45 to 50 ESG funds, and there is Avishkar, which is more than $1 billion, and there are a number of them, like the UK government, DFID, which is based out of Delhi, and so there are a number of funds which are there, which are operating. But although they have raised money to invest in ESG, but I repeat again, they look for a solid business case, which does not necessarily mean a large amount of losses, but also recuperating the monies, the investment, in a certain period of time. But as in a normal business, the investment return is seen for 3 to 5 years, but for social businesses, it is seen more than 5 years, 6 to 10 years. So the communities have a longer time to create such a business. For example, micro lending has been in India since more than 20 years, and now the big all the big banks and the financial institutions, they are very well versed with how the investment in a microfinance company works, and how the returns can be generated. So this is from the investors angle, and I feel that now with the government providing broadband to villages, digital transformation will be will be the main theme going forward from here till the next 10 years, because the kind of uh, digital consumer which which has developed in the cities, the same kind of mindsets will be developed in the villages as well, because more than 6 lakh kilometers of optic fiber has been laid, touching all the villages. And recently, only 2 days back, the government said that they will create 3 lakh rural entrepreneurs who will be tying up with the panchayat to provide high speed internet using these optic fiber lines. So I, as a technology investor, I feel very enthused that the rural Bharat, which is the other side of India, will take off, and it will form a solid market in the years to come. Thank you so much.
Yes, so you're very right. And like optical fibers are on the journey of innovation, and I think in the future years we will be seeing a wide range and use of optical fibers in every industry, because this is the era of innovation in the field of optical fibers and nanomaterials. And like you said, in the villages also it's starting, so it's a journey to start and it's a long way to go, but we wish all the best to all of us so that we can achieve what India has dream of. It's a very pleasure listening to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our third esteemed guest for today is Mr. Deepak Nanda. We are eager to grasp the inspiring narrating of how you have harnessed the potential of storytelling across different organizations you have been associated with. Additionally, we are keen to comprehend how this approach has been instrumental in empowering communities and individuals. Could you elaborate on your journey in this aspect? Over to you, sir.
Hi, Neha. First of all, I'd like to thank Swan Livelihood and Skill Reporter for inviting me for this esteemed panel. As far as the inspiring story and storytelling part of my job and role over the years goes, it's been really enriching to actually be in my first role at Joe Stocks, be researching for these stories across India. So Joe Stocks at that point in time, we were working in 8 languages, collecting those stories, not just in English, Hindi, Malayali, Telugu, Tamil, and other languages. Right now, they're at some 22 languages, 1 billion views. But the idea there was basically to get these stories and solve the issue that Miss Sarda also referred to, that the individuals or the youth in the rural regions do not have this awareness of schemes. They do not know how to communicate. They do not, know what is important for them, or information is not available. And what Joe Stocks at that point in time was trying to do was actually provide inspiration to these individuals in tier three, tier four cities and towns. Because honestly, what even I, during my research of the country and then the NGOs and the individuals who kind of tackled every problem in their way, what we figured out and found was that a person or a youth in a tier one city, say Delhi or Bangalore, starts at 100, having had a good nutrition, good family background, good education, good tech background, a proper linkage and network to other people of like-mindedness. But a person or an individual or a youth in a tier three or four city has to start from zero, because again, there's no nutrition available. So they don't have food. And a lot of NGOs right now are focusing on getting them food in the educational institutions. So you can imagine the state of the child itself, that he's not properly fed, and then they're going for education. So both of them are lacking at the same time. Second, being about there not being availability of communication skills or skills in general to be imparted to those students. So they're not aware of that. And like Mr. Tushar also mentioned that there's tons of funding being flowing into these interventions that are related to tech, but students in the rural regions do not even have a mobile phone. Forget about imagining a tech intervention. So they are at a lack of a lot of resources per se, and that is what we at Joe Stocks were trying to solve through the idea of inspiration. So if a student in a tier 4, tier 3 village looks at a person who struggled throughout their life and made it big after having formed something that's worthwhile, and can be looked at as an inspiration or rather an aspiration, that I one day would want to become that person, and he from probably my community could do that, so I can do that. So there comes the courage and also the liveliness to actually do it. And that wasn't there before. I mean, TED Talk was there. People could see a news story of someone, but really, youth is not really looking up to those news stories and that. But YouTube was a medium that we thought would actually work, and actually did work in regional languages per se. It did. So we had millions of views across each channel that we started, and stories flowing in from individuals who just had 500 rupees uh, per month of an earning to now earning a crore. So those sort of stories have come across. Then moving on to the idea that stuck with me was that storytelling is a really impactful idea to be using to scale impact, to reach out to individuals, change lives in a way. And then I started to kind of focusing on that part of it to actually bring it to the other roles that I was associated with. So at CSR Bucks, I use storytelling to work on initiatives around nutrition with UNICEF. How could storytelling be engaged with IBM projects to kind of again bring skilling to individuals in different regions, and also working with the likes of Facebook and Google to actually bring out those stories of individuals who've actually used something like a WhatsApp to start business. So there are individuals in Jaipur who've started a WhatsApp community of 20-30 people to sell clothes, and they are making good money. So there are interventions, like Ms. Sada shared, that there are interventions from government side, also from private sector side, that are available. It is just the access of it which is kind of still a gap. And NGOs on the rural level, on the last mile, are trying really hard to do that and bridge that gap. But still there is a hesitance from people, and that is where again another point from Ms. Sarda about behavior change communication is really important, because the acceptance has to come from the individuals that they require it, that good nutrition is needed, that education is needed, that a tech intervention is needed, and that they need to apply for these schemes and uh, activities. That was how I kind of use storytelling at CSR Box. And right now with Rise Infinity Foundation, the way we are using storytelling is again to impart financial literacy. We were running a project with Tata Capital Financial Services for 2 years on taking financial literacy as a skill set to individuals. And there we use storytelling to bring out stories of students who learned the course, helped their families to run a better business. So these are students whose parents are probably owning a stall. So a student helped the father to actually do accounts, or actually understand that how can they mark up the pricing, or be better at accounts of their little stall that they have. So that is how the storytelling aspect kind of impacted the education and made students aware that they need to kind of be taking financial literacy seriously. And again, with Rise Infinity Foundation itself, right now, the idea of storytelling and using it to create ecosystems is what we are trying to do. Because we do not want to be an NGO or an organization that comes in and handholds a person or an individual for lifetime. And that is what has been happening. And then people or the beneficiaries get, you know, used to the whole idea that NGO will provide us money, they will give us, this education, they will give us, and in a way, you kind of cripple that beneficiary rather than empowering them. So what we are trying to create now is that bring out those champions by the medium of storytelling, that this person could do it in your community, in your village. So now that person's a champion. So he'll create an ecosystem of individuals, probably institutions, schemes, and everything around that proper community to then empower the community alongside. And we would exit out of that geography, so that Rise Infinity Foundation is not required after a while, and the whole intervention or the community can sustain on itself. Just again using the same idea of storytelling, because the idea here is to inspire and create aspirations for people. And once that is created, I think no one would want to actually stay in a state of poverty, or a state where they do not have two full meals a day, or do not have education or equal opportunity per se. So that is how I think storytelling has worked for us and the communities that we've been working with.
Thank you, sir,
That's
for
amazing.
sharing your thoughts and giving valuable suggestion to all of us. We would now would move over to some specific questions to our panelists, and we'll start with Ms. Sharda. Ma'am,
Yeah,
it's
tell me.
evident that despite the government's formulation of numerous policies and schemes to uplift rural communities, as you said, there seems a lack of awareness about these initiatives at the grassroots levels. Considering your dual involvement in grassroots work and the development of state operational strategies, how do you bridge this gap and ensure that not necessary information reaches to those who need it most?
Demand generation. I should realize, I make them realize that there's the present lives that they are leading is not proper up to the mark. They should understand that I have to, if I am healthy, I can make a better life. I can succeed in my life. So the demand generation has to be created first of all. So to make them understand, we make small skits, like storytelling, what Mr. Nanda was talking about. So during my training or during my field visit, I make small skits to make them understand where they are lacking. Okay. So that is, I cannot forcibly make them say that you have to do this. They have to realize that they have to change to survive in this world. So for that sake, we do a kind of skit or role play to make them understand. And secondly, these things should be self-driven, self-motivated. See, nobody from other world will come and tell us what has to be done. At times, an individual has to take a decision on his own. कहते हैं जब तक नहीं पूछा जाएगा कोई भी कुछ भी नहीं मिल सकता. माँ भी खाना नहीं खिलाएगी जब तक आप नहीं बोलेंगे. The same thing, until and unless you don't speak up. That is the reason we are following Dasasutra strategy. Dasasutra strategy is now made compulsory in every, see, in for an SHG, in a month we have 4 meetings they conduct. So in one of the meeting, we made it compulsory that they have to start talking about food, nutrition, health, and wash. What usually they do in the SHG meeting? How much loan I want, how much I can repay, what is the status of my account. That's all. I don't know anything beyond that. So we are asking them to talk, to know each other beyond loan giving and loan taking, repayment. Once I give you an opportunity to speak, only then you will come out with your problems or with your ideas or whatever issues you have with you. So Dasi Sutra strategy is giving a platform to them to come up with their issues. When I know what is your problem, I can advise you what direction you have to go or how you can solve it. So that is one way which we are actually starting up. And now I am a national resource person for Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, and Punjab. So now we have started the work. Now my CRPs, community resource persons, whom I have trained, now they are doing a wonderful job. They are, conducting the sessions, initiating the first meetings with them. That is one way. And second thing, convergence. We are focusing on convergence. Me alone working will not lead to anything. I will not achieve the target whatever is given to me. I have to pull all my line departments. I work with Anganwadis, that is women and child development. I work with Asha worker, Asha Didi. So Asha Didi comes from National Health Mission. So they all are scattered around. So I call them all together in one way. In one forum, I call, just like how you have called all of us, I call all of them for the meeting. So whatever messages or whatever schemes, whatever information is related to nutrition, health, and sanitation is provided to them in one platform. So this, if you cannot do it once in a month, you have to do it every month. Once it is regularized, and कहते हैं बखान करना, you have to repeat it every time. If I speak once and I leave it off, nobody will remember. So I had to keep on repeating the same things till it strikes their mind and say that yes, I have to change. Until they don't decide about to change, we cannot change. So this is the system which I am presently following, trying to
Right.
bring those reduce the gaps that are happening.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I really agree. Like, I also believe in the part that women are also like the people of rural area basically are also like try to open up with us. Like they must have not opened up like a few time back, but now like various organizations are now approaching them, now are working for them. So now they are like kind of building a trust for us, and now they are like there are various platforms for them also. So it's a great initiative, like you just said, to like to take all the things in one platform. So it is like
One
great.
stop solution, one stop solution.
One stop solution, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So thank you so much, ma'am. Now we would now move to Mr. Tushar. In today's startup landscape, where social impact initiatives are on the rise, these ventures are addressing real community challenges and seeking investment. For entrepreneurs pitching their ideas to investor, what valuable advice do you have? Also, how does consultancy aim to help these startups connect with the right investors?
Well, thank you so much. So basically, I would advise anybody who wants to create a viable business, he should at least read some books like The Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid by Dr. C.K. Prahlad. And there are many funds which, as I was mentioning in my last time I spoke, like Avishkar is there, Unitus is there, which has international money. You have Elivar Equity, you have Log Capital, you have DFID of UK, and NEEF Fund, which is a partnership with SBI, State Bank of India. SBI NEEF Fund is there. Then there is a Hyderabad-based fund called Caspian. Also, there are foundations who invest in rural based themes, like the oil company Shell has a Shell Foundation which invests in India in rural themes. Then there are other, like Bharat Innovation Fund is there, Espada is there, and to name some more, even Wilgrow is they do small tickets, but they are pretty active in this space. And how we help the companies is that we will first of all create their documentation, which is the pitch deck, business plan, financial model, and valuation of the company. And in that pitch deck, which includes the business plan, we will capture the problem statement they are solving and the solution they have come up with. Then we will talk about the team which has been assembled, and market is very critical in rural and social initiatives. So we will definitely like to give a very clear view of the market size, because if it is we are talking about India or Bangladesh or Pakistan, then we are talking about large numbers but low purchasing power, which means that the products or services, they have to be customized according to this particular customer. And then we will talk about what the business can achieve in the next 5 years, and what is the current traction, as in what they have achieved already. Even if they have created a semblance of a product or a service which looks like, which can be scaled up, which can be scaled across communities, or which can be scaled across businesses, then we are talking about convincing the investor more on the way it will be done. And which means that we will talk about competition, who are the other companies which are doing it, whether they are doing it in India or they are doing it abroad, and what has been the results. Although when you compare a rural market like India with a rural market of US or Japan, it will not compare at all, because these are totally different countries with totally different social parameters and totally different purchasing powers. So our documentation is one thing which we do, Then we create a financial model, which is a 5-year projections, and on the basis of that, we try to arrive at a valuation of the company. Then we have calls with the ESG and impact funds, sometimes once a week or sometimes twice a week. So we discuss which kind of companies have come up, and we discuss on a no-name basis. Once we have a first level of interest, then we start advising the company on 7, 8 more areas which are very critical in today's times. One is unit economics, which means that your expansion should be profitable. You should not create a business in which you are losing money on every unit you are selling. So that is how to showcase unit economics. Secondly, we will advise them how to showcase your MIS, Management Information System. The third thing is what are the clauses of the term sheet, investors' term sheet, which the founder should keep in mind. And then there are exit options, which the investor will discuss with the founder. So we will educate the founder about the exit options. Then the investors, they do a due diligence of the company before putting in money, and the due diligence happens in 4 areas. One is the government compliance, one is the legal compliance, including tax and accounting compliance, and then there is technology, if there is any technology angle to it, and lastly the founder's background. So we will share a due diligence checklist so that the documents can be prepared in advance. And then we will share video pitch decks. There are three kind of videos which can be made. One is the product or service video, one is the founder journey video, how the founder came to address this problem, and the third is the pitch deck video, which is explains the business in 4 to 5 minutes. So all these things we will help, and then we will get the founders to talk to the investors, and then take it forward from there. So Consultancy Ventures has been in the business since 8 years. Anyone who wants to reach out to me can do through LinkedIn. My name is Tushar Kansal, or through my website consultancy.com, kansaltancy.com, and we'll be happy to answer any further questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom and sharing all of the information that your company has. And now let's move to Mr. Deepak Nanda. So, your journey from an entrepreneur professional to organizing the Rise World Summit is fascinating. Could you share your experiences? Also, could you explain the Rise World Summit is all about and how people get involved?
Sure. So
Over
even
to
my
you, sir.
story of associating with Rise World Summit is a really funny one to begin with. To kind of explain that, I joined Idobro as an intern 4 years back. Idobro is the parent company for Rise Infinity Foundation. After I actually organized a school level, like a college level, event at my college, and every one of my fellow batchmates had gotten an internship at some bank or a corporate or some sales or FMCG company, and I was left managing the finances for that college event. So that was the reason I could not get a corporate to intern with in that period. And one of my professors actually told me that there was a organization, a social enterprise in Bombay, if I'd want to take up that internship. And I thought it's interesting, so might as well take it up. So from that struggle of actually arranging an event and actually losing out on opportunities because of an event, to then 4 years after, during COVID, having joined Rise Infinity Foundation and now managing a global event for them, life has come sort of come full circle for me, where an event became an excuse to join a social enterprise, and now I'm managing the biggest event for them that they are running around ESG, CSR, and SDGs. And talking about the summit itself, so like I said, so three main pillars of it is CSR, ESG, and SDGs, which we focus on. The way we do it is around 20 formats that we explore, from roundtables to workshops to discussions, monologues, fireside chats, and multiple other ones. The reason being that a conversation just happening in a simplistic format of someone just presenting a presentation delivering a monologue would not have as much effect. Like Ms. Sada said, you'll have to repeat the idea again and again, or in a more interactive format, bring in more storytelling to it, bring in more art, or that sort of response where a person can interact with that conversation. That is the whole idea again with the Rise World Summit. Another thing we do differently with the Rise World Summit is we do not actually charge an entry fee for organizations to join in. We also do not get sponsors for it, so there's no gold platinum sponsors or whatever. We might want to change that, because that's again kind of brings us in a really tight situation, but the idea behind that was for it to be a more open and democratic platform where any and every NGO could join in. Entry level, last mile volunteer could join in and listen in on the sessions, take like learnings from those resources that everyone shares. So from someone like a Rockefeller Foundation to a Facebook, if they're sharing any resources, they could have access to it. So kind of to create it as an open platform. And then taking it global was another thing that we've been working on. And this year, just to give you some numbers, so 10,000 people joined in, offline as well as online. There were around 100 sessions that happened, 70 online and 30 happened offline, with multiple cities in India hosting sessions in Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Coimbatore. Then there were sessions happening in Africa, there were sessions in California, there were sessions in UK, and some other parts of the world as well. And this was all driven by a 118 partner network that we kind of created and curated for this summit that happened in 2023. And all of these partners again are global ones, so handling something like content, to bringing in their expertise in sessions, to bringing in their set of individuals or beneficiaries. So these are some of the numbers, and this happened across just 3 days and with the planning of some 3 months. But the idea for next year onwards is to actually create as a more, I would say, ecosystem centric platform or an event where it would happen for a week. We'll have particularly ticketed sessions for individuals to join in, so that it's a more streamlined approach for some specific sessions that are happening across learning or modules for individuals. Again, anyone who would want to collaborate for it, we are still in the planning phase for the next Rise World Summit in 2024. It will happen around January, mid-January, is a date and timeline we're looking at. So I'm available on LinkedIn, and you can reach out to me. Like that's the easiest way to reach out to me. Just shoot a text, and I'll be kind of happy to take the discussion forward.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your thoughts with us. So, moving over to the last question of this discussion. This question is for Sharda ma'am. Could you shed light on how today's youth can actively engage with government programs and schemes? Moreover, how can social impact organizations effectively collaborate with government entities to amplify their influence at the grassroots level?
Uh, Regarding involvement of the youth, unfortunately, there is no direction of the youth. They don't know what they want to do. I have been interacting. See, just in my introduction, they have said I worked with all age factors, coming from the newborn till the senior citizens, and still visit schools to conduct any CSR activities. I see that they don't have any direction. Most of them. I don't know about. Maybe I may be wrong, but the groups that I have seen coming from the international schools to the government schools, I would say government schools children at least know what they want in life, but compared to the high school or the private school children, don't have any direction. So that is very pathetic because tomorrow's citizens, they are the upcoming future generation. They have no direction as such. Yes, youth, there are many opportunities that are there. Rural self-employment training institutes are there. Krishi Vignan Kendras are there. Opportunities are there, but they are not driven, self-driven. They're not motivated. I want to ask one question to you people. Most of them are going abroad. Sorry, I'm not. It's not to hint anybody, but I have one question which is always bothering me. Everybody wants to stay abroad, earn money, buy a flat here or own a house here, spending crores and all. Do they have money to buy a land and make it an agricultural land? You know, the present generation, there are no farmers. There is no farmers. Maybe I may be speaking out of the topic. There is also future for agriculture, right? Why are we not encouraging that? We are encouraging female farmers. Mahila Kisan Prasashktikaran Pariyojana program is going on because we are encouraging female farmers. But why farmers are not coming forward? There are so many skill-based trainings going on for providing employment to them. Why Manrega has to come into the picture? Why so many schemes are happening where at least we are promising 100 days of employment in a year? Why are they not utilizing it? I don't have a direction. मैं किस दिशा में जाना है मुझे पता ही नहीं है. This is my experience. This is what I have been seeing. They're directionless. I cannot say lack of education is only the reason. Lack of awareness is not the only reason. As on today, as per the NFHS data, 69% of rural women are still illiterate. That includes the rural female youth also. How can we bring about the change? You are promising employment, but I don't know what I am good at. What are my innate capabilities? What I am good at? What skills I can utilize? So these gaps have to be filled. Everyone has to join hands to make it happen. This is what I sincerely feel. Maybe regarding the schemes you have asked me, the next question was how we can join hands. Everyone should come forward to make them understand that they have to have it as. What do you want to be? See, in any interview, people will ask you, the HR person will ask you, where do you want to see yourself after 5 years? Where are these people? And the worst part is the present youth are getting fascinated towards the drugs, bad habits, bad, what do you call, bad elements. These are keeping them occupied, because of which they are not focused. This is my simple answer. How we can bring about a change? We have to change their direction. We have to redirect them to make their life purposeful, not useless, purposeful. For that, we all have to join hands to make it happen, to make them realize what they want to do in life. Demand generation, again I repeat, demand generation has to be created to them, giving them the success stories. Parents always compare, the so and so has scored so much of marks, where are you standing? I don't want you to compare, but I want them to be something what they want to be. Opportunities are many. Let them explore. Let them learn it in the harsh way, how life is going to teach them. But let them come up with it. Let them have an idea. Let them sit with a pen and a paper and write what they want to be. What are their strengths and what are their weaknesses? What they want to work for. What they don't want to take it up. Opportunities are there. Based on their strengths only, let them take a decision. Let them be given an opportunity to. Maybe this is what I want to just say.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your thoughts. And we genuinely believe that the youth should have a like proper mindset and proper focus. So over to you, Danu.
Now, let's move over to next question for Tushar sir. Sir, if you could share your advice for aspiring young change makers who are eager to establish their own startups. Over to you,
Uh,
sir.
yeah, sure. Um, so I feel that the biggest thing which matters today, one is what is your motivation in creating the startup, and secondly, whether you are trustworthy enough, so somebody should uh, you know uh, somebody should give you their money, or somebody should work for you, or somebody should deal with you as a vendor. So end of the day, we are living in times where people are spending 8 to 10 hours every day on the mobile, and the mobile is throwing up information which the artificial intelligence knows what you want. So if you are searching Elon Musk, it will keep on showing you Elon Musk. And what will happen is that instead of you bothering to think about the situation around you, and the problem you want to solve, which really matters to you, many people, they are attracted towards the startup industry, and they feel that they should be the next Elon Musk. Now they forget that Elon Musk started very small, and he put in 20 years of effort to reach where he has reached. And there must be thousands of people who started just as Elon Musk, but they did not reach to that level. But having said that, more than 50% of them would have created some career or the other because of the effort and the hard work which they would have done. So there is no guarantee to becoming a billionaire, but definitely there is a guarantee that if your intentions are right and you do it the right way for the right reason, you will reach somewhere. So that is one. The second thing is you have to be trustworthy. Nowadays, with the rise in startup scams and a lot of people swindling away investors' money, the investors are very, very conscious of the fact that they have to give money to someone who's trustworthy. The third thing is that whatever problem statement you have identified, like there is a company with me called Loan Digit. Now, Loan Digit's founders, they have more than 10 years of experience in the corporates, but they themselves belong from Uttarakhand. So they always felt that the small ticket size loans, like 5,000 rupees to 25,000 rupees, the banks are not giving them, and the microfinance companies are focusing on certain sectors. So he came up with an app which uses UPI for lending, and it uses artificial intelligence to do the KYC, know your customer. Now, he was very motivated to solve that particular problem. He created a beautiful technology platform, an app, and he also because he was doing it the right way, he tied up with 1,000 crore NBFC, and he has already in the process of getting 2 to 3 crore of funding. So, my advice to all the people who want to do startups is that, there is always a choice. You can do a job for your living, or you can do a startup for your living. There is nothing wrong in both the options. But entrepreneurship comes with certain mindset. It comes with a risk taking ability. It comes with patience. It comes with team building efforts. It comes with a long term focus. And definitely it's a lonely world out there. The founder is on the top of the company, so it's a very lonely world out there. He has to take all the decisions. He has to motivate the team. He has to look for funding as well. So the responsibilities are many. So I'm 100% sure that with the amount of resources, not only money, but the other resources which are available nowadays, like softwares and like hardwares, and the all the info which is available on internet. I'm sure that the founders will make use of all of them, and definitely, if they believe in a certain problem, they'll go after it and solve it by opening a sustainable startup. Thank you.
That's very true, sir. I think the mindset of the entrepreneur should be fixed so that in the journey, if they face challenges, they should accept it and they should persist with it so that the dream that they have started off with it can pursue and can exist in their life. Over to you, Neha.
Now, shifting our focus to you, Deepak sir, what guidance would you offer to the younger generation keen on pursuing careers in the realms of both social impact and corporate sector? Additionally, what skill set do you consider crucial for their success in the pursuit?
Sure. Thanks, Neha. So I'll just take a cue on the suggestions for social impact or corporate sector from what Ms. Sarda and Mr. Tushar has already shared. So when Ms. Sarda said that purpose is something that's missing in lives of individuals, and that again becomes a really crucial skill set that individuals should have if they want to actually join a social purpose organization or an NGO per se. So what purpose, or where are they coming from? Do they actually want to create change, or they just want to associate with an NGO so that they could actually get some points and then move abroad? Because that is what a lot of individuals are doing these days. They get some points for their application and then they move abroad to do their studies basis their alliance with an NGO. So what purpose are they coming in with? Second, what Mr. Tushar said about the intention of the individual. So what intention are they again starting a venture? Is what I'll have as an suggestion for individuals who want to go to corporate. So what is their intention? Is it to just create a small scale impact, or is it to actually create change in the lives of individuals? So a lot of startups that come from tier one cities like Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore are working on ideas of convenience. So, and also that can be seen in the startup. So a Swiggy or a food delivery app is just trying to solve a problem of that my food is not getting delivered to me in 5 minutes, or something like that a hair salon is not available next to me, so I might as well want to call them over, like an urban club. So that is a convenience led intention of solving a problem. But if you go to the rural regions of India, you'll see brilliant startups, brilliant entrepreneurs, which even Mr. Tushar alluded to, with organizations like Wilgrow funding these ideas and individuals. Also, the funding is really not there for these startups, but I think that is kind of something that's piling up, where these individuals actually know what problems persist in those regions. So I do not want like my food to be delivered in 5 minutes. I want medicine to be delivered in 5 minutes. I do not want, a salon to be open 24/7 for me. I actually want healthcare to be available to the last mile. That the child does not die because he could not be, fed for the first 1,000 days of their life, which is crucial for them. Or a mother kind of gets the right nutrition during the whole pregnancy state of it and can actually, be healthy afterwards. So again, just kind of summarizing that into what we at Rise Infinity Foundation are also doing. So for the social sector or a corporate, this whole moral education becomes really important, where the students need to know what is right, what is wrong, what is their purpose, and what is their intention. So why are they doing what are they doing? Because no one will teach them that. Every scheme or education initiative that goes on, it actually wants to just tell you that, hey, you should understand English, or you should actually know mathematics, you should know how to operate a mobile phone. But no one actually touches on the aspect of moral education, that what is right, what is wrong. And that is what Rise Infinity Foundation, through one of our initiatives called Rise to Change, we are trying to do, under which we actually look at a mindset that could be created in an individual, a journey that an individual could build for themselves. Like Ms. Sada said, that they could actually see themselves 5 year down the line in their life. What will they be doing? And then a whole rise circle where they create a circle of change in their network. That if now I am educated, I know these 10 schemes, 10 policies, 10 interventions, I now would want to share it with 10 other people, because I am not greedy for me to be the only person who kind of becomes a success story. I would actually want everyone to be a success story, because together we kind of would create change. So that is what Rise to Change for us is as an initiative, a moral education project or a program we're trying to run across the country. And we're happy to collaborate with organizations who are listening to this to kind of take it ahead to institutions and individuals across the country. And on the second part of it, of what skills are really missing in individuals or youth, particularly in India, I would say one is the aspiration of it. So, not a skill per se, but I would say if you aspire to just be a corporate employee, you'll just be a corporate employee. If you aspire to be just a farmer, you'll just be a farmer. But in the organizations like Joe Stocks, they are giving like multiple aspirations to individuals. So now you can actually aspire to be an astronaut, because there are people from villages who have actually gone and worked for NASA. There are individuals who actually started corporates, multi-billion-dollar corporates like Zoho, like an individual who went to went abroad, worked with an MNC, came back, started the company headquarters in rural regions of the country in South India, given employment, I think around 30% to the youth that is not educated, that is not coming from IITs, IIMs, or tier one colleges. So there is a payback that's happening just because there's some morality in these individuals, and their aspiration and is kind of what they're looking at. Second would be around communication, which again Mr. Tushar is working on, where he's teaching these individuals, young startup enthusiasts, to actually pitch their ideas. Again, from the point where I mentioned that tier one individuals work on a specific problem of convenience, but what they do is that there's a lot of fund available for tech interventions, and they know how to pitch an idea, they know how to present themselves. And I also come from a tier 2, tier 3 town, so I know I had to struggle a lot, I had to build a lot on my communications, work on it to actually be taken seriously in the field of communications or corporate sector per se. So I totally understand that struggle of not being able to communicate an idea. You might be doing brilliant job. I have worked under the radar, so to say, for 2 years, for 3 years with some organizations, and not been appreciated just because the communication level was not there, and I did not know that I need to actually showcase myself as an individual. So that whole idea of creating your own brand, your own personal branding, which is really big in tier one cities, is not available for these tier 3, tier 4 individuals or youth. So they need to work on how to present themselves, how to present their idea, and how to kind of communicate to actually be taken seriously. And then the last aspect I think that will work wonders for them is just networking. No idea is small enough. No individual is not worthwhile. Like Ms. Radha in the beginning said that she might not have too much to share. But as we are coming to the close of it, I am kind of just taking tons of notes on whatever she's shared, even Mr. Tushar. I mean, every individual can contribute. They have ideas. They have, things to collaborate on. You just need to network, talk to people, as many people as you can, and that will work wonders for you. Open up job opportunities, open up, collaborations for your organization and for you as a person as well. So I think with that, I'll just close my remark. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deepak sir, for sharing your thoughts. Like it was a really nice points that you covered for younger self, for younger generation to start up to start their own careers. So it was a very great discussion with you all. I would like to thank you all to all the panelists for taking out your time and be here in this panel discussion.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much for speaking today on the occasion of International Youth Day 2023. We are grateful for the time and effort you all took to share your thoughts and experiences with us. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
all.
you.